In the small dusty village of Amiri, where red sand painted every footpath and hunger danced in many homes, lived a young girl named Glory. She was only 22, but her eyes held the weight of 100 lifetimes. Since her mother died 5 years ago, Glory had known no peace. Her father, Mr. Thomas, had changed from a kind farmer to a cruel drunkard. As if that wasn't enough, he married a wicked woman named Mrs. Grace, who hated Glory with every fiber of her being. They made her cook, fetch firewood, sweep the compound, and farm from dawn till dusk, often forcing her to sleep without food. Everyone in the village pitied her, but no one dared to speak. Nobody wanted to face Mr. Thomas's madness. Then came Harrison, a young man from the city. His clothes were old, his shoes had holes, but his eyes were sharp. He had been working on Mr. Thomas's farm for 3 months, clearing bushes, planting cassava, and carrying heavy loads from morning till evening. But after all the work, Mr. Thomas refused to pay him. "Next week, come tomorrow. I'll pay you when I sell something," he kept saying. But nothing ever came. One hot afternoon, Harrison came to the house, tired and angry. "Sir, please, I need my money today," he said. Mr. Thomas scratched his head and looked around. His eyes fell on Glory, who was sweeping the compound with a tired face. Then he laughed wickedly. "You want money?" he asked. Yes, sir, I worked for 3 months. Please pay me," Harrison replied. "Well, take that girl instead," Mr. Thomas said, pointing at Glory. Harrison was confused. "Take who?" "My daughter. She's good for nothing. Let her go with you to the city. That is your payment." Glory's heart broke. She dropped the broom and looked at her father. "Daddy, please, no." "Shut up," he shouted. "You should be happy someone wants you." Mrs. Grace folded her arms and smiled. "Good, let her go. One less mouth to feed." Glory fell to her knees, begging, crying, shaking her head, but nobody cared. Nobody listened. Harrison looked at her. She was broken but still beautiful. Not just on the outside, but something in her spirit touched him. "She's beautiful," he said under his breath. "What did you say?" Mr. Thomas asked. "I'll take her," Harrison replied. Just like that, Glory's life changed. With tears in her eyes, she packed her clothes into a black plastic bag. Nobody hugged her. Nobody prayed for her. Her little half-brother Sam stood behind the house, crying as he waved goodbye. Glory followed Harrison to the city. The journey was long and tiring. The bus passed through many towns, trees, and dusty roads. Glory sat close to the window, staring outside. She wasn't sure how to feel. She had just left the only home she knew, even though that home was full of pain. She had no idea where she was going or what would happen next, but deep inside her heart, she prayed silently, "Lord, please don't let this man be wicked like my father. Please give me peace. I'm tired." Harrison didn't say much during the journey. He just kept looking straight ahead, thinking deeply. Every now and then he glanced at her and sighed. She looked so tired, so small, like someone who had carried too much pain on her shoulders. Finally, they reached the city. Everywhere looked different. Tall buildings, cars with shining lights, people walking fast, noise everywhere. Glory held her bag tightly, trying not to look confused. She had never been to the city before. They took a small tricycle to the end of a quiet street. Harrison paid the driver, then led her down a short path lined with flowers. He stopped in front of a big black gate and knocked. A few seconds later, the gate opened slowly. Glory gasped. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. The compound was wide and clean. The main house was painted white and looked like something from a movie. Flowers were neatly planted by the walkway, and there was even a small fountain in the corner. They passed the main house and stopped at a small but neat building behind it. It had one bedroom, a sitting room, a small kitchen, and a bathroom. It was called the boys' quarters. "This is where I live," Harrison said with a smile. Glory looked around. The place was clean and peaceful. "I just got a job a few days ago as a security guard," he continued. The owner of the house is very kind. She gave me this place to stay for free." Glory looked at him, surprised. "Really?" "Yes," he nodded. "She lives in the main house with her only son. She said I can stay here as long as I keep the compound safe." Glory looked at the small house again. It wasn't as big as the main building, but to her it felt like a palace. It had a roof that didn't leak, a door that locked, and a bed with clean sheets. It was far better than the mat she used to sleep on in the kitchen back home. She smiled faintly for the first time in a long time. "If this is God's purpose for me, then so be it," she said quietly. Harrison looked at her. "Are you okay with it?" She nodded. "Yes. I have peace. I've not felt this in a long time." 2 days after they arrived in the city, Glory woke up to the smell of something nice coming from the small kitchen. She opened her eyes slowly and looked around the room. The morning sun was gently shining through the window. It felt peaceful. She sat up and stretched her arms. For the first time in years, she had slept peacefully. No shouting, no beatings, no fear, just calm. She stepped into the kitchen, and there was Harrison, turning something in a frying pan. "Good morning," she said quietly. He turned with a smile. "Morning, Glory. I made breakfast. Hope you slept well." She nodded. "Yes, like a baby?" They both laughed lightly. After breakfast, Harrison said, "Get dressed. I want you to meet someone." "Who?" Glory asked curiously. "You'll see. Just wear something simple and neat." She went back into the room and wore a soft gown Harrison had bought for her. She brushed her hair and came out, her heart beating fast. They walked out of the boys' quarters and followed a short path that led to the main house. When they got there, the tall black door opened, and an elegant woman in her late 50s stood at the entrance. She had kind eyes and a calm presence. "Good morning, Ma," Harrison greeted. "Morning, Harrison, and who's this beautiful young lady?" "This is Glory, my wife," Harrison replied. Mrs. Walker looked at Glory with warm eyes. "So this is the wife you spoke about? She's lovely. Come inside, my dear." Glory stepped in carefully, her eyes wide. The living room was neat and shining. Everything looked expensive. Mrs. Walker held her hand gently. "You're welcome, Glory. I like you already. You have a sweet spirit. I'm happy Harrison brought you here." Glory smiled shyly. "Thank you, Ma. You can call me Mrs. Walker. Feel free, okay? This house is big enough for peace. If you need anything, let me know, okay?" "Okay, Ma," Glory replied. After a short chat, they returned to the boys' quarters. That evening, after cleaning the small kitchen and arranging the room, Glory sat on the edge of the bed, thinking. Harrison was seated on the floor, fixing a loose handle on the wardrobe. "Harrison?" she called gently. "Yes? Can I tell you something?" He looked up at her. "Of course," she sighed, playing with her fingers. "When my father said I should follow you to the city, I felt useless. I felt like I was thrown away, like I didn't matter to anyone." Harrison stood up slowly, his eyes on her. "I thought maybe you would be worse than him. Maybe when we got here you would start shouting at me, beating me, or treating me like a slave." Her voice broke a little and tears filled her eyes. "But you didn't. You gave me peace. You gave me space. You respected me. You even cooked for me." She wiped her face with the back of her hand. "I want to tell you thank you. I don't regret coming here anymore. I'm no longer angry that my father gave me to you. I now believe maybe this was God's plan." Harrison sat beside her and took her hand slowly. "I would never hurt you, Glory. That's not the kind of man I want to be." He paused. "Do you know something?" he added. "I liked you a long time ago. The very first day I saw you on the farm." Glory looked at him with surprise. "I wanted to talk to your father, but I was scared. I thought he would reject me, insult me, or even chase me away because I had nothing." He smiled gently. "But that day, when he told me to take you instead of paying me, I was shocked. Yet, deep inside, I was happy. It felt like a door had opened. Glory looked down. I don't love you yet, Harrison. I know, he said quickly, and I'm not rushing you. She nodded slowly. But I like how you treat me, like I matter, like I'm not a mistake, like I'm a queen. He smiled wider. That's because you are, Glory. You're a queen. You've just been hidden in the wrong palace. Glory laughed softly, wiping another tear. For the first time she felt seen, and though love hadn't fully entered her heart, something beautiful had already begun to grow. Respect, peace, and trust. A month later, life was already beginning to shine brighter for Glory. Every day she cooked in the boys' quarters and tried new recipes. She had even written some meals down in a small notebook Harrison gave her. Her confidence was growing. One sunny afternoon, as she was helping Mrs. Walker carry some groceries into the house, the woman called her gently. Glory, come sit with me for a minute. Glory wiped her hands and sat beside her. Mrs. Walker smiled. Do you know Harrison told me something sweet about you? Glory looked at her, confused but curious. Ma? Yes, Mrs. Walker nodded. He said you're a great cook, and I agree. You have been helping around, and I see your heart. You are humble and hardworking. Thank you, Ma, Glory said shyly. Mrs. Walker continued. My cook has traveled overseas with her family, and now I need someone I can trust to take her place. I've been watching you closely, my dear. I believe you are the right person. Glory's mouth opened in shock. Her eyes began to water. Ah, Ma, thank you so much. You're so kind. God will bless you. I don't even know what to say. Mrs. Walker patted her hand. You deserve it. You're a good girl. Still shaking with joy, Glory wiped her face quickly. Ma, can I tell you something? Of course, my child. I've been looking for a way to earn money, not just for clothes or anything else. I want to go to school. I want to further my education and go to university. Mrs. Walker's face lit up immediately. You want to go to university? Yes, Ma. I stopped after secondary school because of family issues, but I love learning. I really want to go back. Mrs. Walker reached over and gave her a warm hug. My child, I love education. I love girls who love school. That is a beautiful dream, and I'm proud of you. Gloria felt her heart swell with happiness. Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much. As soon as she finished helping in the kitchen, she rushed back to the boys' quarters, her slippers making soft sounds as she ran. Harrison! Harrison! She shouted with excitement. He came out of the room surprised. What is it? Why are you shouting like that? Harrison, you won't believe what just happened, she said, smiling from ear to ear. Mrs. Walker said I should become her new cook. Wait, seriously? Harrison asked, his eyes wide. Yes, and she said she'll be paying me every month. I also told her that I want to go to university, and she was so happy. Harrison pulled her into a hug. That's my wife, my world-class wife, Glory laughed, blushing. Ah, Harrison, don't start. No, I mean it, he said, holding her hands. You've come a long way. From the village to the city, from tears to smiles, from rejection to celebration. She nodded, still smiling. It feels like a dream. And the best part is, Harrison added, the dream is just starting. That night, after dinner, Glory and Harrison lay side by side on the bed, facing the ceiling. The day had been long but beautiful. Glory couldn't sleep. So many thoughts were running through her mind. After a long silence, she turned slowly and looked at Harrison. Harrison, she called gently. Yes, he replied, still looking up. Can I ask you something? Anything, he said, turning to face her. Glory took a deep breath. Why haven't you, touched me since I came here? Harrison blinked, surprised. He didn't expect that question. Glory continued. I mean, we're married. If it was another man, maybe he would have done it the first night I entered this house. Harrison sat up slowly and leaned against the wall, his voice calm. You're right, Glory. Many men would have done that. But I'm not just any man. I didn't bring you here to use you, he said. I brought you here to love you, to care for you, to protect you. He paused for a moment, then looked into her eyes. You've been through so much already. I see the pain in your eyes sometimes, even when you smile. I don't want to add to that pain. Glory's eyes began to water. Harrison continued, I want you to be ready. I want you to love me first. Then when your heart is at peace, you can willingly give yourself to me, not because you feel forced, not because you feel like you owe me. He held her hand gently. I know you've never been with any man before in your life. You've carried shame, rejection, and fear for too long. That night your father gave you away like you were nothing. It broke something inside you. Glory looked down, her heart beating fast. But, Glory, you are not nothing. You are everything. You are strong. You are special. And when that time comes when your heart says yes, not because of pressure, but because of love, then I'll be ready too. Tears rolled down Glory's cheeks. She had never heard such words in her life. You really mean all this? She asked quietly. I do, he said. I want you to feel safe with me, Glory. This marriage must be built on love, not fear. She wiped her tears, smiling softly. Thank you, Harrison, she whispered. You've changed my life in so many ways. I thought all men were like my father, but you're different. Harrison leaned closer and kissed her forehead gently. Sleep well, my queen, he said. Glory lay back down, her heart full of peace. For the first time, she felt truly safe in the arms of a man, not just a husband, but a friend. Just 2 days after Glory started working as a cook in the main house, something strange happened. That morning, she was in the kitchen preparing Mrs. Walker's favorite vegetable soup. She had just finished slicing the yugu leaves when the kitchen door opened. She turned to see a tall, handsome young man standing by the door, staring at her. It was Daniel, Mrs. Walker's only son. He looked shocked for a second, then smiled and said, Damn, you are so beautiful. Glory stood still, surprised. My mom told me about you, he continued, walking slowly into the kitchen. She said you were smart, humble, and beautiful, but honestly, I thought she was just capping until now. He placed his hand on the counter and looked at her from head to toe. Wow, girl, you are so damn hot. I think God created you on a Sunday morning. He must have taken his sweet time with you. Glory felt uncomfortable. She looked down quickly and tried to focus on her cooking. Good afternoon, sir, she said quietly, trying to ignore his words. Daniel laughed and waved his hand. Come on, don't call me sir. I'm just a little boy, you know. You can call me Daniel. Glory shook her head. No, sir, I can't. It's not proper. He smiled again. You're so polite. I like that. She didn't reply. She just continued cooking in silence. After a few more minutes, Daniel left the kitchen, still smiling. When Glory finished her work that evening, she returned to the boys' quarters. Harrison was waiting for her outside, sitting on a wooden bench. Welcome, my queen, he said cheerfully. How was work today? Glory sat beside him, her face a little worried. Harrison, something happened today. He turned to her quickly. What is it? Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. But your boss's son, Daniel, came into the kitchen. Okay, Harrison said, watching her closely. He was saying things that made me uncomfortable. He told me I'm beautiful, that God created me on a Sunday morning, and that I should stop calling him sir and call him by name instead. Harrison frowned slightly, but then gave a small smile. Ah, that Daniel, he's a funny guy. That's how he jokes. Glory didn't smile. Harrison, I didn't like the way he was looking at me. Like I'm something to eat. Harrison laughed softly and touched her hand. It's okay, my beautiful wife. Don't let it bother you. Daniel is harmless. He just likes talking. He doesn't mean anything bad. Glory looked into Harrison's eyes. Are you sure? I'm sure, he said gently. But if he ever crosses the line, just tell me. I'll protect you always. She nodded slowly. Okay, if you say so. He smiled and kissed her forehead. You're safe with me, Glory, always. But deep inside, Glory still felt something wasn't right. There was something in Daniel's eyes that made her uncomfortable, something she couldn't explain. A few days later, Glory was in the kitchen again, preparing lunch. She didn't know that someone had been watching her from the corner. It was Daniel again. He entered the kitchen slowly and leaned against the door. You know, he said with a smile, there's something special about the way you cook. Glory turned and greeted him. Good afternoon, sir. He ignored the greeting. Glory, I've been thinking. I don't want to waste time. Let me go straight to the point. She paused and looked at him, wondering what he meant. Daniel walked closer, lowered his voice, and said, I like you. I mean it. You're beautiful, smart, and hardworking. And I'm not just saying it to flatter you. I want you to be my girl. Glory blinked in shock. Sir? He smiled. Yes. Listen, I'll change your life. I'll send you to school, not just any school. I'll sponsor you to study abroad if that's what you want. London, Canada, anywhere. I'll give you a new phone, clothes, money, everything you need. You'll never have to struggle again. Glory stood still, speechless. Daniel stepped even closer. You're wasting your time with that poor security man. What is he doing for you? Nothing. I can tell my mom to sack him today or pay him off. Just say yes to me, my love, and your life will never be the same. Glory took a deep breath and stepped back slowly. With all due respect, sir, she said, her voice calm but firm. I am not interested. Daniel raised an eyebrow. What? I am focused on my marriage, my work, and my dream to go to school. I'm not going to throw that away for quick pleasure. He laughed loudly. Marriage? Don't tell me you're calling that thing with Harrison a marriage. You should be ashamed. At your age, you should be in school or dating someone like me, not a broke security guard. Glory held her ground, her voice steady. I am not ashamed. I'm proud of my husband. He treats me with respect and love. He doesn't have much now, but I know one day God will answer his prayers and make him a wealthy man. Daniel scoffed. You're dreaming, girl. I'd rather dream with a man who loves me than live a fake life with someone who only wants to use me, she replied boldly. He shook his head and laughed. You'll regret this. No, sir, she said. If standing by the man who stood by me is a mistake, then I'll gladly make it over and over again. Daniel stared at her for a moment, then turned and walked out of the kitchen, clearly not happy. But what secret is Harrison hiding from Glory, and how will it change their lives forever? Will Glory stand firm against the tempting offers from Daniel and Mrs. Walker, or will the pressure break her resolve? What surprises await Glory and Harrison as they build their new life together? Watch out in Part 2.